We're going to practice again, dividing that exhalation into parts. You can divide it into half, you can divide it into thirds or into quarters. Whatever you feel comfortable with, and you can experiment and play around with which suits you. Main thing with the breathing exercises is to know that they are to work for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's only how to bring more consciousness into your breath. We don't want to bring more rigidity into your breath, into your breathing, how you breathe. We're bringing more flexibility. So that's really important to always know, that it is not a rigid practice. It is an exploration. So I'm inviting you to explore the breath more consciously, and everyone will find their own way with it and their own limits also. So my guidance are suggestions. They are not to be enforced. If you feel to only divide the breath into half, then that's equally valuable. So we're going to start the session with that powerful exhalation, breaking that exhalation up to do Kumbhak in the middle of the breath. That very powerful exhalation is a rocket ship into the more subtle breath. I introduced Kumbhak last time we met, and just a natural observation of the gap between the breaths. Today we're going to continue on with that. But to start the breathing exercise with a very powerful focusing breath, centering, grounding, such as the Ujjayi, and breaking that Ujjayi up on the exhalation, or any Ujjayi breath, any channeled breathing to start your session, really brings the nervous system into alignment, into a settled, calm space. And then there is a natural progression as you sit doing conscious breathing, with more force initially, and then allowing the natural lightness and transcendence and subtlety to unfold as the session goes on. So with every session and every meditation, you sit, obviously at the beginning, the system takes a little longer to settle, the mind is more agitated, and as you sit longer, the subtlety, the stillness, the lightness just naturally will start to unfold. So first I want to talk about the word Kumbhak briefly. And many of you who have been to my retreats, maybe all of you here, have heard me speak on this, but I just want to touch on it again. That the Kumbh, K-U-M-B-H, Kumbh in Sanskrit, is the word for that earthen jug, which has that classic Indian shape, wide at the base, coming up to be more narrow at the neck and then slightly opening at the lip. The open earthen jugs that the women carry on their heads when they carry water from the well. That's what a kumbh is. So kumbhak is the practice of carrying this kumbh. And it's so beautiful that they've used this word for suspending the breath. I say suspending because if I say holding the breath, it's very easy to, with tension, hold the breath. Kids like to do it as a game. They block their nose and see how long they can hold their breath. That's not what Kumbhak is. The space of Kumbhak, the space of suspending the gap between breaths, is with the poise that the woman master while carrying these earthen jugs on their head. Can you imagine the balance and this inner core strength you need to be able to carry that kumbh? So if you can imagine that, carrying the earthen jug, the kumbh, on your head. The woman who carried the water from the well are carrying the kumbh. So now just picture yourself now carrying a big earthen jug on your head, and you're not walking on flat paved roads, you're walking on paths with rocks and tree trunks and and how much concentration you need, how much stability you need. But it's not the stability of holding. It's the stability that is strong at its core and yet flexible. Because water, as you know, is not solid. It's wavering as you walk. So if you're rigid, that the jug, is going to fall and break. Look at the flexibility you need. And that flexibility comes from core strength. Also, look at the shape of the kumbh. It's wide in the belly. It's channeled in the throat. And it's open at the crown. It's such a beautiful shape of the human body when it's in alignment with conscious breath. So I wanted to bring this image and the meaning of Kumbhak because I really get inspired by it. This image really helps me to know what is the inner conscious breath and how to access that. Not with rigidity, not with a sense that I'm doing something right or wrong, but with the flexibility to find your own way. Let's close our eyes. Take a moment to observe the natural settling. First, physically. Never mind what thoughts come and go. Just let the mind be as it is. We're not at all disturbed by the thoughts, like the water in the kumbh, in that earthen jug. Let them sway back and forth. You're focusing on your inner strength. Bring your attention to your belly, to your lower belly. Expanding as you inhale, connecting as you exhale. You can go directly into Ujjayi breath, channeling that exhalation by channeling in your throat. As if you are scraping the breath in the back of your throat. Wide in the belly as you inhale. Connecting with your belly as you engage your pelvic core and exhale. That gentle resistance with a full exhalation as you channel in Ujjayi, the exhalation. Nice wide belly as you inhale. Feel all that tension be released, expanding, releasing. Feel all the energy in your jaw release. Space between your eyebrows, release. Let your shoulders be released. pulling away from your ears, not hunched up. Relax your shoulders. Belly is relaxed, open, and engaged as you exhale. Bring the image of the kumbh, that earthen jug, in your mind, wide in the belly, channeled in the neck, in the throat, and then open at the crown. Your body is exactly this shape, and the conscious breath is allowing us to realize our most conscious way of breathing, where breathing is not being disturbed by thinking, by overanalyzing, by harsh self-criticism, harsh judgment, with the inability to accept what is. One builds up defenses that are harsh, rigid, defensive. Breathing in Ujjayi is allowing those defenses to soften because you are realizing your power at your core, in softness, in flexibility, in openness. It is a great misunderstanding that when we are open and sensitively attuned, as if that is a weakness. We've encountered a world of egos that come at us as children with these shields. And so we learned how to lift these shields to fortify ourselves. But in fact, it walled us in. It closed us down and made us rigid. In that rigidity, we became unhappy. To find your core, to breathe from your core, from your center, and to breathe beyond the boundary of your skin, beyond the boundary of your defenses, to realize that breath and space are one and the same. We have this opportunity through conscious breathing for this to be our reality. When I said to Sarah, who's only 10 years old, "Where does your breath come from?" She said, "From Mummy," because with her mind at this stage, Mummy indicates that which is beyond her physical body, that which is bigger than her. The breath doesn't come from the body. Breath is life. Life is not bound in any body. It breathes this body. And that is a great blessing, but we take it for granted, as if the lungs breathe, or the mind orders the lungs to breathe. But this physiology is so limited. In truth, life is breath, and breath is life. How we can tune into breath is how we can tune into life. And when you tune into life, you don't need these shields and these defenses. You don't need to wall yourself in, close yourself down to protect yourself, because you realize the power of life is indivisible, indestructible. It is a power infinitely more than just this physical power. There is no physical without life. And so this conscious breathing tunes us into life. We will divide the exhalation into parts. You can divide it into half, into thirds, or into quarters. Inhale fully. Widen your belly, widen your ribs. Let your shoulders be relaxed. Exhale one section in Ujjayi. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale another section. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale another section. Hold Kumbhak. And fully exhale. Now inhale as slowly as you can, like an unfurling of a fern or a flower. Very slowly, from the very root of your belly, allow it to unfurl. And then let your breath be free. Or try it again. When you exhale, you're exhaling in Ujjayi, which means your belly is firm, strong in your core. Exhaling in one section, it's quite strong. Then when you hold that Kumbhak, if you can, release your belly in that second, and then engage your belly again as you exhale for the next section. Try again in your own time. Inhale, full, widen the belly, widen your ribs. Shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. Exhale in Ujjayi. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale in Ujjayi. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale in Ujjayi. Hold Kumbhak. Full exhalation. Then inhale very slowly in Ujjayi. And let your breath be free. Again, in your own time, inhale, long, slow inhalation, full breath, widening, expanding as you inhale. Exhale in Ujjayi, in a part, strong in the belly. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale again. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale again. Hold Kumbhak. Exhale again. Inhalation, very slow. And let your breath be free. This time when we do it, see if you can feel that pumping of your lower belly in the stages that you exhale. So when you exhale, you're engaging your pelvic core, you're engaging your belly. In the Kumbhak, you're releasing your belly just for those 2 seconds. Then again engaging as you exhale the next section. Then you release your belly on the Kumbhak. Take some practice, so just explore this. In your own time, inhale, full, long, slow, deep inhalation. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed. Top of the inhalation, divide your exhalation into parts. Exhale. Hold Kumbhak, release your belly. Engage your belly, Ujjayi. In Kumbhak, release. Again, engage, exhale, release. Exhale, engage. Slow, long inhalation. And let your breath be free. Observe the space behind your closed eyes. You may experience clear, spacious mind, meaning not many thoughts. You may experience many thoughts. Don't make any meaning. Every time you sit to practice these conscious breathing practices, the mind reacts differently. Sometimes it becomes agitated, sometimes it becomes blessed. But the focus is on allowing the mind to be what it is, and you're bringing your attention to your breath and to the space, conscious space of being. Let the mind be what it is on the periphery of your experience. Don't make any meaning from it. And bring your attention again. We'll do one more in your own time. Inhale fully. Long, deep inhalation. Exhale in Ujjayi. Hold Kumbhak, release your belly. Engage your belly, Ujjayi. Kumbhak, release your belly. Engage your belly, Ujjayi. Kumbhak. Full exhalation. And then long, slow inhalation. As slow as possible. As if you are barely breathing. That unfurling of a fern. And then let your breath be free. This Ujjayi practice has concentrated your energy, settled your nervous system, focused your attention. So now bring your mind's attention in alignment with your breath. Reduce your inhalation a little and just allow the breath to be very light. How lightly can you breathe? And find the threshold where you can be breathing as lightly as possible. And play with that threshold. How far can you push it? If you push that threshold too far, you want to gasp for breath. then just pull it back and breathe a little more. But never push yourself so much that you have to gasp for breath. It's counterproductive. Just find your own natural place to breathe as less as possible. Now the mind can get confused here because we're habitually breathing more than we need. You can just gently tell your mind, it's okay, you don't need more breath. I'm okay here with just trying this lighter breath. And see that you actually are perfectly fine. The mind is doing its job of warning you. You can say, I hear you. I'm not going to push it too far, but I'm just watching that this is enough for now. Take a few minutes to find that threshold where your breath is as light as possible. Play with that threshold. Don't be rigid with it. Experiment. Where am I? And how does this feel? Keep focused. Keep watching the space behind your closed eyes. Take your attention from your body breathing to I am space breathing my body. As you watch the space breathing, you will notice thoughts weaving in and out. Let them come, let them go. They are weaving their story, and that's okay. The space is not disturbed by the thoughts. Stay with this light breath, watching the space behind your closed eyes. One more minute. Sips of air and relax into it. How still, how sweet, how subtle is the spacious breath. In your own time, for the next 10 minutes, we're going to count 3 or 4 breaths, the very light breaths. And after the last exhalation, you're going to just suspend that gap before you again inhale. That is the Kumbhak. Just for a few seconds. Again, find your place where you can hold Kumbhak for 3-4 seconds. And then when you resume that light breath, you haven't had to increase in any way. That is most important. Anyone can forcefully hold their breath. This is not holding your breath. This is effortlessly suspending the gap where you perceive space. And then again resume very light breaths, very light. You don't need to rigidly count. You can do it spontaneously as you feel. But roughly every 3-4 breaths. If you feel very comfortable and you've been practicing this for some time, you can do it after every alternate breath or even with every breath. Again, we'll take the next 10 minutes to explore your own way. Only one rule is that you do not increase your intake of oxygen for 10 minutes. Anytime you feel confused or you lose your focus, bring the image of the woman carrying that earthen pot on their heads with water. This is your center. You are carrying that pot on your head, perfectly, concentratedly, consciously, balanced, flexible, effortless. Relax into it. Effortless. Effortless suspending of the breath to observe space. Take 10 minutes. And let your breath be free. Just observe for a few more minutes. You will notice that the breath likes to remain subtle, light, slow, soft. This is actually your natural state of being. Once the energy is enhanced and focused, centered, and that recognition of space is aligned with the mind, then we realize our natural state of being is this. Is this that has no name. Is simply yourself. So we just take 2 more minutes, sitting in the recognition of yourself. That is not disturbed by thoughts that weave in and out on the screen of consciousness. You are this conscious space, pure, infinite, present, indestructible. Amaram, Maturam, pure, free, forever present. Amaram, Maturam. Amaram, Maturam. Amaram, Maturam. Amaram, Maturam.